So it's my pleasure to introduce him. He is ALC member in Bayside. He is the mark of Bayside in the ALC. Production-wise, he's a little bit over me. He's head of the NWE team. What does NWE stand for?
Non-stop work ethic.
Non-stop work ethic. Don't you love that? All right, and without further ado, we're going to start the interview. It's not an interview, it's just a chat.
Spotlight. All right.
Spotlight, all right. Hi, everybody.
Wow, there's a lot of people.
There you go. Hi, everybody on Zoom. Okay.
Anyway,
we do the television closeness. This is yeah, so.
All right, I'm going to be real with you first before I say anything else.
Yes.
This suit is extremely tight, so if a button pops off and it hits me in the eye, I'm sorry in advance.
So disclaimer, attend at your own risk. Wear shades or glasses if you like.
And again, don't be so shy. Come a little closer, not too close. Yeah. Like I said,
Cesar, you're good, but everybody else comes.
A button might fly out sooner or later.
Okay, so
he's actually coming closer.
All right, I like the energy. All right, Evans. Evans, can I ask, is the TZ silent?
No, not silent.
It's not silent. It's not silent.
That was the question?
No, that was just my opening question. Okay, so I'm going to start with the very basic. How did you get into real estate and how long have you been in?
13, 14 years. I was originally working at the Wall Street Journal many moons ago. I met Dean Graber, who was my business partner. Met him he was doing mortgages at the time. We became friends. Now we're best friends now. We still kill each other every day, but that's another story. When we were in the mortgage business, we both decided to switch over to the real estate portion. He got his license first. I was still trying to figure things out because I was still working at the Wall Street Journal, and I was just trying to find myself. And so I was like, I'll do the real estate thing until I figure out what I want to do for real life. And as I was doing the mortgage thing, I realized I hate this. Sorry, Angelo. I hate this. I don't want to do this. I can't stand this. And I'm like, I kind of like people, kind of. And I kind of wanted to do real estate because it seems so easy. And so I got my license. Thank you, Allie, because you're the one that pushed me to get my license. I got my license, and you can't tell by the gray hairs, but the white hairs now. 13, 14 years, I shave myself. 13, 14 years later, and I'm still doing this. I still like doing this on occasion.
Funny
Depends
guy.
on the client.
Funny guy. So, I think I had a similar experience. It took me 18 years to actually fall in love with it. I mean, not 18, 12 years to fall in love with this business.
Yeah.
But the first 12 was like love, hate, like that.
It's a up and down type thing. It really depends when you structure your business or structure your life the way you want to. We have a saying somewhere in the wall, life by design. Yeah. It took me a while before it clicked, and I'm like, all right, you know what? I can start doing things by chance or start doing things partnering with the right people. I'm looking at you, Angelo. Partnering with the right people and just get your head screwed in tight. And then when you have a team leader like Allie, who's like, you can do this, and you're like, I don't see myself doing this. Yes, you can. She kicks you in the ass. Angelo kicks you in the ass. Go out and do it. And you're like, oh wow, I'm actually doing it. And you're over here. You start here, then you see yourself over there. You're like, wow, I'm on the other side. Like I was sitting where you guys are, and now I'm over here. I'm like,
how did that happen?
Like, it goes like that so quickly. So I'm just saying that basically you can see yourself doing it. You see yourselves on the walls. You can see yourself basically from silver to gold to platinum to whatever else the next level is. You just have to start planting that seed and surround yourself with the right people and just keep the negative stuff out. And that's what I try to do, especially with the news. I don't listen to the news anymore. It's pretty much, I just turn it off and I just focus on stuff that's gonna help my business, stuff that's gonna help my mindset, stuff that's gonna help my clients and stuff like that. And the negative clients or customers, you stay the hell away from them. You don't have time for that. That's basically what it is. You don't have time for negative. Even family members, you might have to cut some people off because you have to see your vision where you want to be. And sometimes you have to push some people to the side and like, look, I'm sorry, this is where I need to be, and you're not going to help me get to that level. So
I love that. Can I just point out, right? We all talk about positivity, right? But there is a thing to just starting to let go, right?
Yep.
We every religion and philosophy, and I taught this in my mindset class a few months ago. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, right? And then you actually, I believe, then you live no evil. right off of that, and that's
I try.
and
I
so
try.
no, we try, but you know, and we just got to massage that triad in
Yes,
your
hold on.
vocabulary.
It's now, I intend. I
Yeah. That's it, brother.
All right.
So that's lovely. So then, was there a specific deal in your journey? And you know what? I got to stop saying deal because that's the
Transaction.
a transaction in your journey, that or a specific circumstance, situation that happened that changed your mindset, shifted your mindset to, I'm not going to work with clients that are negative. Was there a specific moment that you recall?
Doing this 13, 14 years, it's always happening, so you're always learning. Never close yourself off basically to not learning something new. There's always gonna be something that you have not seen or experienced. So don't be like, I don't need to learn this. No, you need to learn that stuff, because guess what? It might be your first time dealing with it, but now that you learned it and you're now an expert on it, you can now better help other people. I like to video myself facing different situations, so pretty much when something comes up, I can
Let's go to the videotape.
Yeah, let's go to the videotape and show the client, hey, I know this is the first time you're dealing with this, but I've dealt with this before, and here's how my team and I don't like saying me, here's how my team and I fixed this situation and how we got the point from point A to point B for the other client. So it's not one specific thing I would say. It's pretty much difficult clients. It just comes with the territory. Everybody's not gonna love you, so you have to understand that also. You work with who you want to work with. When you get to a certain level, you can afford to say, I choose not to work with this person. I want to work with this person. This person basically has the time frame that they need to purchase, to sell. They have the mindset. They want to do this. They want me to help them. They want to help themselves. For those people that pretty much just suck up your time and energy, just
Energy vampires.
yeah. How long? I'm gonna go around the room because I know you're interviewing me.
It's okay.
How long have you been in the business?
7 months.
7 months.
Year and a half.
Year.
Well, 15 years.
Only 15?
Maybe more.
All right.
He looks 15.
Actually, he has jet black hair. I'm like, wait a minute.
He's a young guy.
How about you? 4?
18.
18. Ladies in the back?
Yeah.
Yes. The young ladies in the back.
Yeah, how long have you been in the business?
24.
24?
I got my license in 2015, but I actually didn't start doing any, I just had it parked in a brokerage until 2020. That's when
So
I,
20.
And you're active now.
I'm active now,
We're all active.
Right.
very active.
George?
George, you're in the back.
18.
18, really? You still have all your hair? How's that possible?
Yeah, mine's a
Steph.
2.
Steph, how long have you been in the business?
6 years.
6 years.
6 years almost like today.
Okay. Allie?
Hey, congrats.
23.
23?
How's that possible?
Botox.
Wait, your Botox 23 or you're 20?
I was 20. I was 20.
25.
Wow.
I was 20 and I had no choice when my parents moved away, and I'm like, I had to go get an apartment, and I realized, wait, you open the door and you make money? I could do
Well, you
that.
think it's that easy.
Yeah,
at
we all
first,
think
right?
that
We
easy.
all thought it was that easy.
How about you, Ange?
I've been in the business the longest, I guess, 30 years.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
You still like
started
doing
at
this?
10?
I started when I was 19.
You got a baby face, bro.
And
Oh,
20?
19. So this September 1st is my 19th.
All right, so my point of why I'm asking this question is basically,
Guys.
you're gonna be doing this for quite a while. You have to love what you do. If you don't love what you do, it's time to leave. And I promised that for myself. Once I decide I don't like doing this anymore, it's time for me to get out and go do something else, find something else. I'm over 50. I don't want to work at McDonald's, but basically that's where I need to be, flipping burgers and not eating it. Flipping the burgers, basically, that's what I'll do. But if I don't like what I'm doing or I don't love what I'm doing, I have to go. That's just me.
Yeah. So you set that standard. You didn't set that standard day one.
No.
That was the evolution.
That's
of
the
this.
evolution, that's the
Okay.
coaching, that's the mentoring, that's the leadership from Allie, the ALC, from other agents that, I incorporate my business through. I model my business through other people, like listen to some other people's, as they're talking.
Right.
And I attended a lot of classes and I make sure I took down notes. The first couple of years, I had the smartest bookshelf that you can even see. Took down notes, threw them in the bookshelf, never looked at them again. Then I progressed basically from the bookshelf to putting everything on my digital, my iPad or whatever. And I would glance at them every now and again when I needed to clear up space. Then I started reviewing things on a regular basis. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, oh, wow, I'm actually doing this. Then I took Bull a couple of times. And I think they still do this in Bull. It's pretty much you send a letter to yourself in the future.
Yeah.
And your future pays basically what you expect your business to be. I've always surprised every couple of years when I get a letter back from me in the future, past, whatever. And I'm like, oh, wow, I actually did this, I did that. Oh, wow, I surprised myself. So I guess, what was the original question again?
Was actually if there was a moment, and then I asked you if your mindset was here, your standards were set when you first started.
It's through the
or
coaching.
Through the coaching,
It has
through
to be,
time.
it has to be the coaching.
Okay.
Number one thing is, when you get involved in coaching, you have to be open to listen. It's not just basically you listen to your coach and you're just like, okay, I'll take your suggestion. You have to do it 100%.
Coachable.
Yeah, you have to be coachable. You have to listen. You have to be open to critique. As professionals that we are, sometimes we're not open to the criticism. Sometimes we don't, hey, thank you for your advice. I didn't ask for it. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, I always apologize if I may offer some unsolicited advice.
Yeah, I mean, but you know what? But sometimes you have to take that critique, evaluate it, and basically, all right, let's see. You know, there is some truth to what they're telling me right now. Maybe I should put this to action. And we're also giving advice to our clients, so we have to be open. If we're giving advice to them, we have to be open to basically giving advice as well.
Can I just point out a takeaway from what I took away from this right now? 14 years in the business,
14.
let's say roughly, right? Before that, you were a mortgage professional, whatever, and you're doing so well. Yeah, please. He's doing so well. You're part of the ALC in Bayside,
Yeah.
but listen to the humility here. And
Am I
I point
rolling
that
my
out.
eyes? I'm sorry.
No, I point that out not as just a character trait of him, but you know, I've come across people who think that you have to be the cigar chomping, the big boss to be in order
That's
to
not
be
me.
that
Like-
thing. Well, that's not you, and then but also you don't need to be that. You can be your authentic, true self and be true to your better nature and still succeed at a high level.
Look,
And I respect that. I love that.
Did you know that humility and self-esteem go actually hand in hand?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Mark, you're gonna get there too.
Someday.
Wow.
Someday.
Maybe there's my phone
Someday.
back.
I was right here in the front. It was.
You know, it went right through.
How long did it take you in the real estate business to find your stride? Like
That was my
I'm
next question.
still finding it. Honestly, I feel like you can find your stride the first year, the second year, the third year. Every year, or wherever you're at in your business or wherever you're in your life, it's going to be different. So your stride might be, hey, I sold 4 houses, 4 families I helped out, and that was my stride for that year, the first 2 years. And then the next year, I helped out 8 families. I did seminars. Your stride's always going to be different. Whatever your goal is, basically, push from here to the next level, and you never know what your next level is until you push the boundaries. So you're always constantly, for me, I'm always constantly testing myself to see if I can do something. It's not even about, you know what, I think I can do this. I know I can do this. You know what, put myself in uncomfortable situations, like videotape myself a lot. And I don't like doing interviews, I'm gonna be honest with you. I like being behind the camera, I like doing the editing, I like doing that stuff, but my coach pushed me. In order for people to know who you are, you have to be in front of the camera, and they have to see your personality. And if people see your personality, they like your personality, they're gonna wanna work with you. And since I've been doing that, a lot of my past clients, people from high school, grade school, majority of my business comes from people who I've known in my past, who I didn't think to, hey, how's it going? Give me some business, which I don't wanna do, is pretty much show them something of value. Oh my God, I didn't know that I needed to do this, this, and this. This could help my friends and my family. And they give me business. So there's a way of asking for business without being too blunt.
If you want to know more tactics like that, I'm teaching a class, shameless plug, on Thursday, right? At noon or 1, I can't remember, a database class. And on asking for business without asking for business. We're, yes.
I was gonna ask, when did you start doing the videos?
All right,
Or getting into social media?
Well, can I
That is a
lead to
good
that?
question.
Because I want to ask his journey. I'm trying to get his history
Okay.
first. And then we're going to get to that, because he's big on social media. So it's huge. So, yeah, but what I wanted to get to actually was, before we even get to that part, well, how did you figure out your lead gen source? Because that was tied to that.
all right.
Like when you start off, it's 2021, right? Or 2011 rather, or 2012, right? So, and social media was started
It was
with Blossom, but it
booming, yeah.
wasn't what it is now. Right? So what was your first lead gen source? How did you end up, and how did you navigate towards finding that lead gen source that worked for you?
I think my first one is open houses, because basically those are easy for me to do. It's
So
easy
that's
for
what you
everybody.
started off with,
Yeah,
right out of the gate.
I'm not a cold caller.
Okay.
My business partner, Dean, he loves doing that. That's his
Circle
thing.
prospecting.
He likes, yes, sorry, circle prospecting, reaching out to people in our database. I'm good at networking, so I go to a lot of networking functions. Family reunion, we've been going, I forget how many years now. I network with as many other agents as I can from other states. A lot of my business comes from past clients, clients. I gotta stop saying past clients because they're still clients. Clients, circle of influence, anybody who you give out money to, your barber, your
B2B.
B2B.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. I don't have a filter sometimes. If you guys are in the bar a lot, your bartender knows everything and knows everybody's business. And I've gotten business from barbers and bartenders. Sometimes my bartender is my barber.
B2B.
Yeah, B2B. So, well, for you ladies, basically your beauticians, the people who do your nails, anybody you're spending money to, you can get business from.
Yeah,
And
smart.
I took Bo, going back to the B2B thing, took Bo a few times, and they kind of pushed me to get out of my comfort zone. And it's a competition. I like to compete with myself. So they said pretty much go out of your comfort zone and start finding people to talk to about real estate. And this is no secret. I'm a vegetarian now, but back in the day, Dean would always make fun of me because anytime he would call me, I'm always at Burger King. And he'll always say, "Where are you?" I'm like, "Mind your business. Don't ask questions." It's like, I'm getting number 2 and number 4. And he's like, "Are you at Burger King?" I said, "Mind your business." And I would get my food, and I'm like, all right, I'm taking Bull, give my card out, have a conversation with the person. I would get a couple phone calls from that. And then pretty much anywhere I would go, cards would go out. Then I started learning, it's not just giving out cards, it's getting their contact information also. That was mistake number 1, which I learned. You know, I would see them, at another restaurant. "Hey, I remember you. You're that realtor." "Yeah, my friend basically wanted to sell their house." "Oh, great. What's your name and number?" "Oh, they already sold it." I'm like,
Yeah.
what did I do wrong? "Oh, wait, I never asked for your information." One of my lead sources was from my car. I had a tire was about $400. It was $400. I just blew a tire, first tire, second tire, and this is my third one. I was taking Bowl. And I'm like, you know what? I can't afford another freaking tire. I have an SUV, and these tires cost a lot of money after a certain point. And I'm like, you know what? As I'm in there, basically, the gentleman's asking for my contact info. I'm like, you know what? Closed mouths don't get fed. If you guys know anything about me, I like to eat a lot, clearly. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm taking Bowl. Might as well put this into practice. And the guy's asked for my contact info, and I gave it to him before, and he just didn't remember it. I'm like, "Here, let me just give you my business card." He's looking at my business card, he's writing out the number and the email address, like, "Oh, so you're a realtor?" "Yes." "Why? Why do you ask?" Normally I would just stop right then and there. So I started asking more questions. "Why do you ask if I'm a realtor or not?" It's like, "Oh, well, it's kind of interesting. My mother basically is looking to sell her house." Like, "Really? Where's the house located?" Normally I would just stop asking questions. Then over the years, it's all about asking questions. If you close your mouth, you don't get fed. So you gotta constantly keep asking questions. So as I was asking questions, he was telling me that he has a friend who was a realtor, who was probably gonna get that listing. And I'm like, you know what? This is bold, and I have to be bolder. So I started asking more questions. Needless to say, we got that listing, sold that house. He referred us a couple of pieces of business over the years, but because I asked questions, any situation could be a business opportunity. So going back to what you're asking, my lead source is everybody. Anybody I'm talking to could be a lead source. Anybody, even I've had people who we had conversations, it didn't work out. They either didn't buy or they didn't sell. Staying in contact with them, they referred me business also. Angela, a couple of years. Other loan officers that I talk to, I get business from them. I get business from anybody who I give business, I get business from also. So reach out to as many people as possible. Just talk to everybody. And don't negate the fact that you have friends and family. Pick up your phone, start calling everybody, have conversations with them. Another piece of business I always forget to mention, and I'm gonna mention it now, whoever you do business with, husband and wife, you talk to both. If you talk just to the husband, great, he only has one set of people that he's gonna talk to. I learned this also, husband and wife don't always talk about what you talked about with them all the time. So you have to talk to both parties. So if you spoke to the husband, you call the wife after. "Hey, I spoke to your husband, blah, 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 blah. I just want to see how you guys are doing in the house, blah, 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 blah. I see you everywhere now."
Yeah, so you're not.
a few hours ago.
Came from there.
Perfect. So, just talk to everybody. Anybody who you're giving business to. Remember, the barber, not promoting drinking, by the way.
But haircuts, promoting haircuts.
Yes, anywhere that you spend money, even when you go to a local coffee shop, have a conversation. Take your iPad, your phone, whatever, basically, spend maybe an hour prospecting in the barbershop. I'll just give you a little cheat code because I'm cheesy and that's how I am.
You put a sign up?
Of course.
Yeah, I used to put folders up with branding when I would farm.
So you have branding like this. You can get this from Amazon. You can get a shirt. You can get like a little lapel that just says I'm a realtor, blah, blah, blah. You find different locations. For those of you who are parents, you pick up kids.
I had a funny story I wanted to share with you.
Sure.
So I'm a former bartender for 20 years.
You're my people.
I used to have a shirt that had my logo on the front, and in the back it said, if you can still read this by the end of the night, ask me about real estate.
Ah, too funny,
Because
too
it would be
cute.
funny, people would be like.
I'm liking that idea. I am stealing that idea.
I love that.
Wait, speak into the cameras.
You said shirts are.
Shirts have gotten me business. I've had the ID badges. Sometimes I'm not paying attention. It gets flipped over, so it's upside down. And I
Well,
walk
that's
into-
actually even funnier. That's
Yes.
a talking piece.
People do talk to you. They say, "Hey,
Say, hey, your thing is upside
I'm
down.
like, good. I'm glad you came over. So now we can talk. And they'll try and fix it, and then we'll have a conversation. The red shirts have got me business also.
I wear them to the gym now. Now that I go to the gym.
I walk past the gym too.
Yeah.
Shut up,
Walk
Andrew.
past the gym. You get your
Don't
steps
judge
in.
me.
You get your
Yes,
steps in.
I
you wear
step. I walk to the gym and I walk back to my car.
everything. You say hi, and then
Yes, and then I go to the bar. That counts. No, but seriously, if you go to Staples, any of those stores where the color is red, I'll walk in there. Sometimes I'm doing whatever.
Can you help me?
Yes, I do get that a lot. I'm like, hey, can you help me? And I'm like, why are you asking me for help? I'm a realtor. I'm naturally.
Yeah.
whip
By
out
the
those
way, the
cards.
shirts he's talking about are the red day shirts. So
No,
if you
not the
follow-
red. Not the red day shirts.
Which
I
one
have-
shirts are you talking
I have
about?
like collared shirts. I don't see anybody wearing.
Oh, the
them.
KW
The
red
kids, so
collared
you
shirts.
You get the red collared
oh,
shirts.
okay. I use
and
the bold, the bold
You
and
can,
the things for the gym.
Whatever works. You use those for gym. Anytime you can promote yourself just by going out. Those of you who have dogs, you're walking your dogs, you're out there promoting.
Huge.
Put something on yourself or put something on the dog. It's a conversational piece. And if whoever has a dog you can borrow, I'm borrowing it right now.
You take mine. I don't have to pay a dog walker.
Okay. Give me the
Your
dog.
dog sitter.
Give me the dog. You might not get it back.
All right. So,
You know what I also saw the other day while I was driving? There was a barcode that was on the car and it says stop me. You know, so if you.
oh, that's hysterical.
You have to be careful with that stuff, especially you ladies. Just be careful.
I would be
There are
careful,
There's
yes.
psychos out there.
Yes.
Just be mindful. You don't want to attract the wrong attention sometimes.
Yes,
so
yes.
I do want to get
Like,
barcodes and stuff.
that barcode could lead to
What about
like your
QR code?
page,
Yeah,
right?
the QR codes. Yeah.
Yeah,
QR
right,
codes,
that's
the QR codes.
yeah.
QR codes basically make sure it lands back to your website, but just be careful with the barcodes because I've been thinking about putting barcodes like on my jacket and stuff like that. I'm from Brooklyn, and I get nervous when people get too close and they're like, all right, why are you so close to me? I'm like, it's fight or flight. My hands are already in my pocket with my keys, and I'm turning into Wolverine in 5 seconds. And I'll ask questions later. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to punch you in the
Yeah,
face.
I didn't know you wanted a house.
I'm like,
Sorry on the
you
floor.
want a house? I'm like, I had a situation with the decal that I had it was on my computer, and I happened to be getting my windshield fixed, and I'm sitting there and I typing, and you know how when you feel somebody staring at you, and you're like, why is he staring at me? I'm like, okay. My fingers go straight into my pocket.
Yeah.
I see him get up, I'm like, I'm not gonna have to fight. I'm like, I'm looking at the cameras, like, our camera's over there. Let's see, if I punch him in the face,
Exits.
I can dig over here and then go straight outside. So this is what's going through my head. And then I forget I have a decal that says, hey, ask me about real estate. And that's why he was getting up, like, you're a realtor? So once I hear real estate, I automatically, everything changes. Like, you want to sell? Buy? What? As soon as you say rental, I'm like,
No.
sorry. For those who do rentals, I'm proud of you, just not for me. But seriously, and same thing when I'm in a bar, restaurant. Stop saying bar. I don't have a problem. When I'm in a restaurant, you're gonna overhear conversations. You mind your business, blah blah blah. We're having a conversation, blah 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 blah. Need to sell my house.
Yep. Yeah.
Hands already in the pocket. I'm already contemplating when the waiter comes over here or the waitress comes over here. How do I get my card to this person? I've done that several times, and I'm cheesy, and I'll do it if I need to.
I've had realtors do it to me.
I'm like,
Yeah, I'm talking about real estate to somebody,
Yeah.
they think I'm just buying or
That's
something.
me.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
get-
I'm
I
doing.
got
So
that.
that's
Yeah.
how I get my business. Is pretty much every opportunity. I'm always listening. Trying
So
to
you're
stay
heavy on networking, you're
Yeah.
heavy on SOI.
SOI.
Yes.
We're
simpatico in that way, but my question was, out of the gate,
mhm.
did you go, I'm gonna network with her, or did a coach say
I was
it?
I was already networking on my previous life.
Oh, because of the mortgage.
Because of the
and
mortgage
and Wall Street Journal. I
Wall Street
imagine.
Journal. I was doing that because
Okay.
I wanted to figure out how do I get business to me. So I decided I was going to a bunch of networking functions. I saw what other people did. I saw what I liked and what I didn't like,
Mhm.
and that's how I met Angela many years ago. We were at a similar networking function. We became friends, and how many years now?
14 years.
14 years basically. We're on the phone all the time. Like he's the only one I answer the phone for basically at 12 o'clock at midnight.
Wow.
There's only two
Does
people.
his wife know that you're
She's
calling?
right there with
He's
him.
calling- He's calling you at that hour?
I'm like, hey Lisa, how's it going? I'm like you two are like freaking frack. I'm like,
So then.
we're talking about business. We're talking about everything basically.
Too
But-
funny. Oh,
I have a question.
Yes.
You mentioned twice that when you speak about your coach, how long before you hired a coach did you?
All right, coaching. I took bowl, and I realized basically every time I was in bowl, my business got better, and then I would get back into my old habits. My business partner basically he got into Mike Ferry, and I was going between Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry, bowl, and all kinds of other stuff. And then I had to find one that actually spoke to me. So I went to the Mike Ferry events, and he's big on making phone calls, speaking
Yeah.
to people that you know, finding new business and stuff like that, which makes sense. But then I found Tom Ferry, and I'm like, cameras and stuff like that, marketing, social media. I'm like, this makes more sense for me because I'm a Gen X, so I'm in the cusp of basically I can speak to the older people and I can speak to the younger people. So that made more sense for me. So I got into coaching. I went to an event, and another agent went with me. We both went together, and we kind of pushed each other. At the time, I did not have it set in my mind I was going to sign up for coaching at that moment. I was still teeter-tottering. I don't know if I want to do this yet. How am I going to afford this? Do I have enough money? Do I have enough business to sustain this? And stuff like that. And she got up, she went to the bathroom, and she disappeared for a while. She came back with her form, and like, hey, I signed up. I'm like, oh, congratulations, I didn't know you were gonna sign up. Yeah, so are you. I'm like, I'm sorry, what now? Like, you're signing up as well. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not ready for this. And she got me up, we walked towards the back, and I'm like, my knees are knocking. I'm like, how am I doing this? Like, why am I doing this? Should I do this? That was how many years ago, and I'm still in coaching now, so every year it gets better, because basically coach is his or her job is to show you what's in front of you. You're doing this, you might want to try this, this, and this, implement this, and see what you'll get out of this.
and it's still Tom Ferry.
Yeah, still
Okay.
doing Tom Ferry.
Awesome. So wait, just get.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah. It's,
How much does it cost?
It varies. When I first joined,
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. Yeah. Last question until the end, because I have a whole agenda for you
it
guys.
meets.
We'll get to the video thing.
Right. So when I first joined, it was every 2 weeks. I would meet with my coach, and how the coaching works is basically they do everything through camera. So pretty much we're having a conversation like right now, 30 minutes. So that was every 2 weeks, and I realized after a certain point, I had in my mind, all right, I'm only doing the 2 week thing. Every 2 weeks, I'm meeting with my coach, having a conversation with them. But it's kind of like when you're supposed to be doing homework. I got plenty of time. Next week I'll do my homework then. And after a certain point, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna need my coach to stay in my behind and make sure I do what I said I'm gonna do. Make sure it's just like when you go to the gym. I'm speaking to you specifically because you do the karate. You still do karate?
Jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu? Kung Fu, sorry. You do the Kung Fu, basically.
Jiu-jitsu,
Whatever.
jiu-jitsu.
You have somebody who's on your back that they say, you need to do this, this, and this. Did you do that? Yes, I did. Did you train? Yes. If you say you train and you didn't, you're only fooling yourself. So when you're talking to your coach and you tell your coach, yes, I did do that, you're only fooling yourself if you didn't do it, because they're gonna ask you questions and you're like, I don't have an answer for that. That means you didn't do what you said you were supposed to do. So the coaching, I think the first 2 weeks, basically, was every 2 weeks, was about six and change, I believe, and then every week was about, let's say, 12. So
But this is years ago. I mean, the
This
price
is-
it's
yeah.
probably evolved. now.
It's evolved, and
fine.
depending on when you join, basically, you get grandfathered in. There's different payments that you can do also. You can pay every month, you can pay quarterly, you can pay like twice a year, or you can pay the full year. But here's the other thing you should think about. while you're in coaching, you network your ass off. Sorry, I curse a lot. You network your behind off basically with many other agents in other states. When you do that, you get business from them. When you get business from them, guess what? You pay for your coaching.
Yeah.
You pay for your coaching and then some. And I also believe pretty much always pretend like you're broke. Sometimes I don't have to pretend. Pretend that you're always broke, because when you're broke, you're gonna do whatever you have to do basically to get the new business. When you feel that, hey, I have enough money, I don't need to prospect, I don't need to network, I don't need to return this call, you're not getting business. So always pretend like you're broke. Just factor in that basically, I have no money, I closed this deal, I'm now broke or unemployed. So always keep that mindset. I'm always broke, and just have your back against the wall. You're always gonna do what you need to do.
Well, I love that mindset. I think that adopting the mindset of using that as a tool to track your investment. Well, first off, the mindset of changing from expense to investment.
Yeah.
Is a huge one, right? So he saw that he got the networking he got from the coaching was able to pay for and then give him a profit, right? So that
Yeah.
becomes an investment. It's no longer this. Also, I just want to address his hesitancy of paying. You know, it was like, can I afford this? Can I afford this?
We all
And for
go through
those,
the same
yeah,
thing.
for those parents in the house, wasn't that same thing when you first had your first kid? It was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I don't think you're like a deer in headlights. Even if you have $1 million, you're still like, oh, no, not that I had $1 million when my kid was born. So it was like you're a deer in headlights. So it's the same feeling, right?
After you do it, you don't even think about it. You can't see your life without it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like another.
It's hard to go
appendage.
back.
I can't see myself not being in coaching, because I know what's going to happen. I'm going to go back to old habits, and I'm not going to prospect. I'm not going to do what I'm supposed to do. I'm just going to sit there basically at the water cooler, doing nothing.
Right.
Which
Well,
I want to do.
it's also important to know yourself, right? Because Evans, from what I'm hearing from you is that, and we're very similar creatures, you need accountability.
Yes.
You need, like, I'll give you hiring a cyberback or a virtual assistant became such a blessing for me because my mornings were awful. Until I got one, because I have him on screen every morning. And I feel like he's my boss now, which I love because I'm like, okay, I gotta give him stuff.
As you're saying that, you just make me remember something. Another thing I started adding is I do Zooms in the morning. I have, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Pivot Shift with James Shaw.
Yeah.
I do
Great.
that every morning, and after that, there's a couple different accountability groups that I join. Pretty much the Zoom is open, so basically it forces me to be on the phone making my phone calls or texting or doing whatever I have to do, because basically I can't be sitting there with the Zoom and people watching.
Picking
and I'm
your
like,
nose.
yeah, I'm like, the last thing they want to see is me eating, because I'm eating constantly. Stop it, Angela, stop judging me. I'm eating salad. by the
So
way,
I just
salad.
want to address, because I know Caesar's on this,
I wanted to ask,
about the video? Because I wanted to go into
no, I
that.
just wanted to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Your schedule, being that you're doing business all over the place
Yeah.
at the same time, do you have like a fixed schedule?
Yes,
I know like Mike Ferry,
calendar.
9 to 12, you're doing phone calls or door knocking, whatever.
9 to
Or
11.
not-
I'm making phone calls, and the Zooms have to be on. I'm receiving phone calls and text also, so if I can answer that question quickly, I answer it. If not, basically, I'll text you once I'm finished what I'm doing currently right now. And then I'm changing my calendar constantly. Usually I have video time basically later on in the evening, appointment time later in the evening. Follow-up is between like 12. Let's face it, I'm always eating, so basically around my lunchtime, I'm following up and eating. And then I have other stuff in between. And then your calendar doesn't have to be strict, it can be flexible, because sometimes you might have an appraisal, you might have a showing. I try and schedule a showing basically after, not during my prospecting time. And just I color code everything also, that's one thing I learned in
Oh,
Bold.
brilliant.
Anything green is money making, so appointments, prospecting, following up are all green. Personal time, if I'm hanging out with Angelo, we're going to the gym. We're going to the gym, basically that's purple or whatever color. If he decides he wants to drag me to the Grand Canyon to go hiking again, then that's that color.
So then
everything's color coded.
So do you plan that? Thank you. That's a great question. Do you plan that ahead?
Yes.
So like what day? Like Sunday? You look at your week. Saturday?
I didn't used to do that. I just got into a program called BAM,
Uh-huh.
and they mentioned that, and Gary Keller mentioned that in one of the speeches last week as well, is basically start planning your week in advance.
Right.
And pretty much I used to do Catholic school, so I used to iron my clothes beforehand. Everything was prepped for the week, and I would just, I wear a uniform, so basically it was just one or two different shirts. They were both yellow. I hope it's not my car. One or two different shirts I was wearing, and maybe 3 different pairs of slacks. They're all the same color, so I lined them up, hop in one. I do the smell test because I'm a guy. And I still wear this. No. So sorry, ladies. I'm like, you're like, ew. You're like, you lost me right there.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I prep with the clothes, shoes, and everything else. So the same thing with your business. So pretty much, you know which appointments that you have. When am I speaking to such and such? Start prepping on Sunday.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go back to the lead gen thing, because obviously that's the biggest lever for all of us, right? When you, and this is leading into what Caesar's really curious about, how did that evolve into your social media, and did it become a thing of do you feel like it's an extension of your network, or are you purposely like, I'm buying
It's
ads
part-
and I'm doing this?
No,
and
I'm not.
that?
Don't spend money on ads. Most of my stuff is pretty much coming organic stuff. Because I'm networking with a lot of people, I also network with my clients.
Your sphere.
My
It's called
sphere.
your
So
sphere.
I add them onto my social media also. So if you notice my social media, I don't post anything political or religious. I leave that stuff for elsewhere. I do jokes. I put some real estate stuff. They like the humor. They stick around. Oh yeah, he sells real estate. Oh wait, he has an open house coming up. Oh, he did a video with Angelo. Hint, hint. About real estate, about buying a home, about basically there's a program I didn't know about. So I post all that stuff on my social media and different platforms and whatnot. Because of Bold, I took Bold several times, and over the years Bold has changed slightly. So they've changed with the time. So prospecting used to be just picking up the phone, making phone calls, or door knocking, open house, following up with open house leads. But over the years, since we have social media, and I'm big on the social media, reach out to people on social media. Sometimes I can't get somebody on the phone, but I can get them on
Like DMs.
DM them. I've gotten a couple of clients basically who I couldn't reach on the phone. I would send them a DM. Oh, your phone is there. You are answering. I'll press the button where you can make phone calls from your DM, or you can send a video to them. You send a video message. So I'll do that. So I also use the social media for the calendar, because I can see people's birthday. I'm horrible with birth dates. I know people's birthdays are coming up, and I'll look through the social media. I'm like, okay, this week, this month, I have such and such. I'm sending out cards to this person. This one I'm shooting a video. This one basically I'm actually making a phone call. So depending on who they are and how I know them, I know in my head how I'm communicating with that specific person. Like someone like an Angelo, phone call, or just embarrass him in his office at some point. Hint, hint.
So now, may I ask, do you time block on a
Yes.
daily basis when you're doing
Yes.
social media?
The social media base is usually towards the end. Sometimes I have my assistants posting stuff. I'm posting stuff. For me, for the social media, usually everything again revolves around food. It's whenever I'm eating. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Those are the times. Most of the time, things are being sent out. The videos, if I happen to have a thought that moment, if I'm in the car in between appointments, shoot a video, post it. Like shot a video in the car, which I didn't post yet. I'm nervous about doing these kind of things. I'm used to asking questions, not answering questions. So I posted stuff like that, and people, you'll get all kinds of encouragements and stuff like that. Just basic stuff. If you tell your audience, your friends, your family, hey, I'm starting a weight loss goal. I want to lose X amount of pounds. I don't know if I have it in me, but I'm going to definitely try it. Not going to try. I intend to shed a couple pounds. I will shed a couple pounds, and you'll see how many people will support you. And like, oh wow, congratulations! I'm going through the same thing. This is what I'm doing. People want to root for you all the time, so don't be afraid to put it out there, because people do want to root for you. So
Agreed.
just put it out there, and just doing that stuff makes you more human. And they're like, all right, I want to deal with this person because they're going through the same thing I'm going through. Just anything that's happening in life. You have a situation with a client. You don't have to say their full name. You don't have to say anything about the client. Just explain what the situation was and how you resolved that situation. People like to know that you're a problem solver. I don't just take problems, I solve the problems. If I don't know the answer, I'm going to find somebody who has the answer. I'm going to put it together and put it out there for my audience.
You know, my takeaway, I'm gonna keep using that word right now, but my takeaway here is, it's to double down, right? Social media helps
Yeah.
you double down
Yeah.
on what's the biggest lever of people deciding to work with you? Anybody?
Yeah.
Like and trust you.
Yes.
Right, so he's showing his vulnerability. I'm gonna shed a few pounds, I'm gonna do this and that. He's showing expertise. You know, it's like I problem and I solved it, right? So
Can I
right
go
there's
back
the
on
like
one
and
thing?
the trust. Yes, sir.
On the videos,
In the beginning, they don't know you.
well, if you, whatever you're doing in life, friends, family, your past jobs, school, add all those people into your social media. They're seeing all this. They see that you're an expert. They like you already. They're pressing the button that they want to see more. Their friends and family are seeing it also. Going back to the social media with the recordings, a lot of people get into their head that basically it has to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. You might stutter, you might not speak English so great. It doesn't matter. As long as you're posting out there, if you speak another language, I would say speak English and speak your native language as well. Because guess what? Oh my God, you're speaking to me. That makes sense. I definitely want to work with you, but I didn't know that you spoke this language also. So anything that you have that you can use as an asset, put it on camera, put it out there, and put it out to your people because they're going to see it and they're going to like, oh, guess what? Like I posted, you probably commented on this. A client of mine came into our office on Saturday. I was doing a board application, and we go back and forth. She was referred to me by somebody from grade school. I sold her a house. I'm helping her sell that house. I'm helping her son buy a house, and she's going to buy another property with me. So we have all these different layers. So we've been going back and forth. I did mention I'm over 50, so my eyesight's not so great anymore when it comes to small print. So her son makes fun of me every chance he gets, like, Evans, when are you gonna get glasses? I'm like, I don't need glasses.
You're in denial.
Cliff note, in my 20s, I was wearing fake glasses all the time. You know, I was sporting a British accent.
I remember that look.
Hat to the side, I was British, hat to the side, whatever, I was doing all that stuff. Now that I need glasses, I don't wanna wear them. So she gives me her glasses, and I look like Medea basically with the glasses. So I decided to take the camera, shoot the video. It's on my social media. Every single one of the people on my social media, I'm like, hey guys, I'm thinking about this new look. What do you guys think? Oh, they bashed the crap out of me. Like, you look like Medea. I'm like, I look like Malcolm X. I'm like Malcolm X is what you look like.
Malcolm X.
And I'm like, so I was getting bashed. I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, I'm getting people to interact with my videos. I think I got like 400 something views or plays on that one. And I'm like, anything I post about real estate, I don't get that much interactive. Anything stupid like that, I get interactions. My other thing that I post is always about food. I always say this, food. I used to play a stupid game, which one is my plate? Usually I'm with Angelo. I take a picture of the plate, and I'll ask people, which one of these is my plate? Common answer is all of them, Evans, come on.
All of them.
All of them. So I'm not eating all this stuff. I can, but I'm not eating all of it. But just stupid stuff like that. People like stuff like that, and as they're in your page, they're engaging, they're looking at other stuff that you have in there, they see the real estate stuff. Oh wow, he does have a serious side. Oh wow, this actually helped me out. I didn't know that I need to do this when it comes to wills and trusts and estates. I'm supposed to be doing this. Going through a divorce, I need to sell a house. What do I do? Oh, you have content on this too? Yes. Okay, great. So it's not just the jokes, it's basically giving value out to people. And they, like you mentioned before, people like and trust, and they see that you're a professional, they're gonna wanna work with you.
Right. And I would say is the great thing that you're offering out is the balance.
Yeah.
Right, because no human is serious all the time for the most part.
Oh, you're serious all the time.
Yeah, right. No human is serious all the time, and no.
Did you see the video that I sent you?
No. Oh no, I didn't get to see it yet. But no human
Where's your
is
phone?
serious. No human is. I'm not gonna look at it.
You should look at it. You should look at
All
it.
right. Well, I will in 2 seconds. And no human is only a robot or a funny person all the time, right? And that's really
You have to
important.
show balance. You have to show
Really
balance.
important. I always look at social media as if I'm having a drink with you or a dinner with you, right? Or
Not so much
lunch
drinking,
with you,
not so
or
much
lunch
drinking.
with you, right? It's like, you're not always gonna be like, hey, so blah, 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 the numbers say this. No, you're gonna crack a joke or whatever. Or you see anything.
If you're a funny person, then do that. If you're not,
Well, I
don't
mean,
force it.
yeah. All right, I'll go. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would utilize, like I said, a lot of you speak different languages.
Your strengths,
Use those.
your
Moving
strengths.
around.
Yes,
Just
Angela.
one thing, my Facebook social media really blew up, and I just changed one thing.
What was that one thing, Angelo?
I reached out to the people, meaning, let's just say you have a funny post, there's 15 people that like it or say something. That gives me a great opening
To
to
DM.
review the people and say, look, I wanna call up Evans. But before I call up Evans, I look on Evans's page, I see a couple current things he's doing, then I call Evans up and say, hey Evans, I really appreciate you supporting my page, I really love the last post of you and XYZ.
Mhm.
You know, just wanted to reach out, how you doing, what's going on, is there anything I could help you with?
Mhm.
That's what I say.
No,
It-
it's great.
And it works.
It's
It
a
works
phenomenal
great.
tool.
It kinda opens up the door also, so it starts the conversation, so.
Yeah.
They see that, you see something that, oh wow, they respond to this, okay, let me give them a call. Hey, blah, 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 hey, you know what, I was actually thinking about you, and I saw that you responded to my post, so this is my excuse to give you a call. How you doing, how's the family? Ford method, family, occupation, recreation, and dreams.
Right?
So you keep that combination in your head as you're having conversation with people, that's your formula. How you been, how's the family?
They suck.
Oh wow, I'm sorry to hear that. Are you still working at Keller Williams?
No, that sucks.
Oh wow! Aren't you? I think you were last I spoke to you. You were going on a vacation. Where you
It
going?
sucked. No.
So you're not going anywhere at all?
Life sucked. No.
Well, if life didn't suck, where do you plan to? Where do you plan to be?
See, yeah, no. So I'll play along.
So
Yes.
regardless of whatever their answer is, you keep it positive, and that reigns them in majority of the time. If they suck, they suck. You're just like, all right, I'm done here.
Yeah.
I did what I gotta do. And you ask them like, well, do you know anybody else who might need
I
my
love that he
services?
kept. I love that he kept going though. But I would just say, I was just talking to my team about this exact same thing, and I encourage them to block time, not just to post. Because I think it's always post, right?
You have to
But
have
you-
a plan of what you're posting. also.
Right, but well, there's that, but also look for opportunities to contribute,
Yep.
and then look for opportunities to connect. Right?
Can I-
Oh my,
can
right.
I-
Oh my God, they're having a baby. I'm gonna call them right now. and
Can I give you those
congratulate
3 times that you should be doing all those things? Not when you're prospecting, not when you're following up, and maybe when your client is late, you can do it then. The 3 times,
them. Eating and drinking.
well, not the drink of that. Breakfast, lunch, and
dinner.
Dinner.
Snack.
you can sound more enthusiastic. with that.
Midnight snack.
Well, there's always midnight snack for me. So yeah, those 3 times. People are usually checking their social media those 3 times anyway. So you might as well post stuff or have stuff ready to go out around those time frames, because that's when people are going to engage the most. Like, oh wow, Angelo posted this. Angelo's at another party. Wow, when does Angelo sleep? He doesn't sleep at all. Like, he's just a party animal all the time. And I'm like, oh wow, look, well, Mark's in the city again. I'm like, where's Mark? What open house is he doing this week? I'm like, oh my God, okay, Mark's very active. You start seeing people's routine, and you start engaging with that. Basically, that's how.
But it also helps. It also helps beat the algorithm.
Yep.
Right? Because not everybody. You know, it puts you in a bubble, and then so if he's not in my bubble in the algorithm, then I like we have a list in our database. We segment it out in the team, and we have our top 150 that we want to keep in touch with. They're not always in my algorithm and things, so I'll look at them up and look up what's going on in their lives before I call them.
Can I add another thing?
Yeah.
It's another thing I started doing a while back, and I'm getting back into it. I just call it a random text message, a random call. Go on your phone, pick 4 or 5 people that you have not talked to in a while. Hey, I was randomly thinking about you. How you doing? How's life? How's the family? Blah blah blah. It could be other agents in the office. It could be people that you used to do business with, or used to refer you a lot.
Ex-wife.
If you're still speaking to them, why
They're
not?
still on your phone?
Why not? How's life? Did you move out? Other clients, basically people who didn't close, whatever. Like right now, Angel, the rates are what now?
Yeah, the rates are really good, guys.
Okay.
Lowest they've been in 4 months.
So right now, you should be sending text to people. Anybody who's thought about buying a house, is kind of on the fence, you should be sending them a text. Hey, I don't know if you heard about the rates. You can leave it as a question and just stop right there. They're gonna ask you, well, what happened with the rates? Okay, great, now you start the conversation. So always think of whatever conversation you have is always a hook. You throw out a hook, you don't give them everything, reel them in. They're gonna like, hey, did you hear the good news? Evans, what's the good news? Oh, wow, well, the rates basically just changed, blah, 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 blah. Whatever it is, basically, you figure it out, and you just throw out a hook, basically, whether it's a text, a video, smoke signals, whatever, basically, you just throw out a hook basically to anybody that you know, people are gonna respond to you.
So, just to get back on track with this, I think it's almost 1 o'clock, right? Are you good for a little bit?
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
time.
so.
For you, I got time.
Thanks, brother. So, just to get on track with your business and how it's the growth of your business, when did you team up with Dean right away, or did you decide, and then how did that evolve to assistant and agents under you? And
I wanna say everything led to the coaching. His coaching basically kind of pushed me basically when I was seeing with that girl, and she told me, you should get into coaching also, spend the money. And I started thinking in my head, I'm like, you know what? Dean took the coaching, it helped his business, and I'm like, and I kind of really like this coaching system, so you know what, maybe I should make this investment in myself. And even though we're in 2 different coaching systems, it's still kind of similar.
It
and
still comes.
It's still the same thing, and everything that I
They
learned from
complement
Keith.
each other?
Yeah, they complement each other. I like doing the videos, he hates doing the videos. I push him to the videos, I hate being on the phone. I get on the phone when I need to, which is all the time. I make my phone calls, and so basically it just pushes us to do that.
You guys, sorry, I didn't mean to.
Go ahead.
You guys are two.
Yeah,
people
there's 2,
team?
yeah.
No, he's got people, you have a few agents under
No,
you though, right?
not
What-
anymore.
oh.
We had a team.
Ooh, drama.
No, but sometimes people divorce. You're still friendly. You went your way, they went your way. We're still mutual. We still keep it pleasant. We're still working with each other also on a couple of deals. So
But
some
on the
people,
team is 2.
just the 2 of us. We have 2 virtual assistants. We have We have 2 virtual assistants, both in Florida. One basically pretty much she handles all the paperwork. She's good at it. Don't ask me how to put stuff on MLS. I'm gonna just look at you like, huh? She does all that stuff. I try to figure it out. I'm like, yeah, I can't do this. This is why we pay somebody else to do this.
It's the worst.
The marketing, I used to do majority of the marketing for the team. Now we have somebody else doing it. I purchased, trade secret, I'm giving it to you right now. I discovered this thing called Etsy.
I love Etsy.
You can buy all kinds of templates on Etsy. Do not spend too much money, because basically I know how us realtors think. Oh, wow, buy this.
Buy our way out of
this.
the, buy our
No.
way to
It's so
business.
cheap
yeah.
that you
They
get
are
lost,
cheap,
yeah.
but basically you have to have your system, have your assistant basically, all right, I bought this, this, and this, or sit down with your assistant. I'm planning to buy this, this, and this. Which one do you think is gonna work best for our business?
My last question, I swear. From your whole income that you generate,
Mhm.
how much percentage of that goes back into your marketing, your assisting, your coach? Like, how much
Uh,
would you say goes into?
That is a good question. All right, so for marketing, I think the number's supposed to be 15.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know what the number is.
I never
It's
track
supposed to
any
be,
of that.
I'm working on that myself, so.
Amen. We're very similar.
Yeah, so I'm not the numbers guy on the team. My business partner, he's the numbers guy. When it comes to actual marketing, that's my forte. The numbers, basically, I'm working on that with my coach. But you should know that number, basically. You should allow a certain amount, basically, for your marketing. I think, I want to say 15%.
The red book has it, so
Yeah, it's in
he
the
has
book.
the red book,
It's
please
in the
open
book.
that up
I
right
believe
now.
it's 15% basically of whatever your take home should go back into marketing. You should have a percentage basically for your coaching also, and anything else basically for your business, your day-to-day stuff. One thing I'm gonna say about Tom Ferry that taught me a while back, and it took a while before it sunk in, you should have 4 different accounts for bank, what's the 4? Hold on. 4 different accounts, and you should have one for your marketing, one for your taxes,
Oh.
one for your day-to-day operations, and the other one is,
Miscellaneous.
Personal?
I wanna say FU money, but basically I'm trying not to use that.
Ferrari up,
Yeah.
Ferrari up money.
Not for the bar, not for the bar. For whatever you need to do, basically, obviously you have your money for your bills, for your daily activities. And your expenses basically is another one, taxes is another one, and don't commingle. The other thing he had told us years ago that it took me a while to figure out, when you get your check, you should start separating it. Don't commingle, have a business account, put things in your business account, start separating stuff. I'm still working on that, so I'm not gonna tell you I'm
Amen.
perfect.
Me too.
Because it is a while basically for you to figure out, all right, I got my check, I'm gonna put, oh wait, I gotta start separating these things, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here. And just, once you start doing it, you get your coach is gonna help you with the formula, whether it's KW, whether it's Tom Ferry, Mike Ferry, whichever one you choose you wanna work with. They all have a similar formula, basically, have a plan, basically, when it comes to your marketing, have a plan when it comes to your prospecting, have a plan for everything. And just, like you mentioned on Sundays, you know that basically on Sunday, I'm planning to have 2 appointments. When am I scheduling those? And what time? Sometime during the afternoon. Appraisals will be in the afternoon. Showings will be in the afternoon. If I'm prospecting from this time to this time, that's the time I'm prospecting. Nothing gets in the way of that. If something, this is real estate, stuff always happens. If something does come in the way of that prospecting time, then you make up that prospecting time sometime later on in the day. Never skip over the prospecting time.
Wonderful, wonderful. And then, now, can I just ask, if from there, when did you exactly decide that you were gonna get an assistant? Was it also right away? And the reason why I'm leading.
Once you realize you can't do everything anymore and you can't do it effectively, that's when the coach tells you, you wanna start thinking about getting an assistant.
Oh, so you lean on the coach more than
Yeah.
experience?
Well, it's experience and coach, because sometimes basically you've had a bad experience with hiring other people because you weren't paying attention to who you were supposed to hire. Like, well, I'm hiring out of desperation, which we're not supposed to do.
No.
You're supposed to basically, what are the things you no longer want to do? Then that's the task for that person to handle. Like, I love doing the marketing, but I don't make money off the marketing. I have to pass that on to somebody else and focus. I'm a salesperson. And although I hate saying that I'm a salesperson, consultant, whatever you want to call it, that's what I do is basically I meet people, I sell them a property, I help them sell their home to somebody else. Well, that's what I do. And I have to keep remembering that. Let the other person handle this. This is what I hired them to do.
Their lane.
That's their lane. I stay in my lane.
Wonderful. You were gonna have a
Yeah,
question?
the
Let's
full
let be the last question because it's already.
Yeah, the full council is what, marketing, tax, and?
I'm not gonna remember all four.
Marketing, taxes,
Marketing,
expense.
taxes, expenses, and
Expenses, operations.
Yeah, operations can be expenses,
And then personal.
And the personal could be whatever investments or whatever you want to do. It doesn't have to be 4, it could be 5, it could be 6, whatever. But whatever works for you, because what works for me is probably not going to work for you, or vice versa. Find out what works for you, but just make sure you have those separations, that you have money for this, money for that, money for that. And it's real estate. Unfortunately, deals don't close all the time the time that we want them to. So always have emergency money somewhere.
And always have constant lead flow.
Yes.
Right? Always be getting
The
constant.
best thing that I mentioned before is always pretend you're broke. That way, you're always hungry, and you're always active, and you're always getting business. You always find business.
All right.
And one other thing, dead leads are not always dead leads. You keep being those leads until you get some business out of it. Hey, I'm not buying. Okay, well, do you have any friends or family that are thinking about buying? No, not really. What doesn't have to be this state? What about another state? Are they thinking about going to Florida? Are they thinking about going to Atlanta? Actually, I do have a friend or family that's looking to go to Atlanta. Oh, really? What specific are they looking for? They're looking to buy, rent, whatever. You keep going until you get something out of it. Until it's officially dead, then you put it in the casket, throw it in the.
And by dead, you mean like you just Evans, leave me alone.
Well, that, like, hey, leave me alone, stop calling me, blah, 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 whatever, or basically, look, I'm not moving. I'm like, I understand you're not moving, but is it okay if I stay in contact with you just in case somebody in your circle, in your world, decides they want to sell or buy? Do you feel comfortable enough basically to recommend me to them?
Or
Yes.
give them value too. Give
You
them
get-
something like,
yeah.
how to improve their home if they're not leaving, be like, hey, these are some tips. I know
Say
you're
that-
gonna
say it
stay,
louder.
How to improve your home.
The value
improve
part.
your-
Yes.
you know,
The value.
give
Always
them
always
those
show
tips.
them value. If there's an event coming up,
It's like a chemical reaction
Yeah,
for someone to give you
'cause-
something back when you give them
Yeah, it's
something.
reciprocal.
Exactly.
That's
So-
just what it is.
if you're giving value to people, they do see that and like, oh yeah, you know what, I do need to reach out to this person, blah, 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 blah. Because sometimes I'm having a conversation with them like, yeah, I don't know anybody who needs to sell or buy anything right now. Okay, great. Just keep me in mind, and when something does come up, I want you to make a promise. When it does come up, you give me a call. Let's do a 3-way introduction or whatever. Sure enough, they usually hang up that phone, usually within a couple of days. Hey, guess what? I got a referral for you? Yes, great. What's going on? What are you looking to do? Oh, they want to rent. I'm sorry, they want to sell? That's what I heard you say.
Well,
So-
I will say, just on for the Ford questions,
Mhm.
if you master them to incorporate that,
Oh,
because that's where
can
I
I go
get
back?
it. Yeah,
I always forget
please,
something.
please.
All right, with the prospecting, having conversation, you have to practice. You have to practice. You cannot do this business if you're not practicing with yourself or with the mirror or with your phone. Then you're practicing on the person that you're speaking to, which we don't want to do that. So
Lost opportunities.
you have people in this office that you can practice with. You can practice with her. You're the buyer, you're the agent, or vice versa. You can practice whatever. You can practice with your spouse. You can practice with your loan officer who's sitting right there. We also have ChatGPT on our phones. ChatGPT, depending on which version that you have, you can practice with ChatGPT. Tell it what the scenario. Angela and I have done this several times. I think we recorded this a few times, where we had a scenario. We told ChatGPT to pretend that they were the person that's purchasing a house. Here's a scenario. Your English isn't that great, but you're stubborn and you want to do this, this, and this. You don't want to listen to me. Make it as difficult as possible. We would engage with the ChatGPT. It would go back and forth, and then basically, all of us would engage with, okay, you probably should have settled it this way. And then with ChatGPT, you can also have it grade you based on how you did. What could I have done better? Like if you're on the other side, basically, it's the client, and you're talking to the client. How did I do? What should I have done better? Did I talk too fast? Did I talk too slow? How was my pacing? Did I seem pushy and stuff like that? The computer basically tell you all that stuff, and that's why when you have a live person, also they can tell you, yeah, you were kind of pushy. Had you said this, basically, blah 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 blah, I think it might have flowed a little better as opposed to saying this or that. And the other thing is when you're role playing, stand up. When you're having phone calls, stand up, because you're gonna notice your energy is gonna be completely different as opposed to when you're on the phone. Let's face it, we don't want to have these conversations. Sometimes we're like, please don't pick up, please don't pick up. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, wait, you still want to buy a house? Great. When you're standing up, hey, how's it going? You're pacing back and forth. How's it going? How's the family? How's it blah, 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 blah. And get into the habit of prospecting in the office. You're going to notice, we've prospected a few times when we're in bold. When there's a lot of energy and every energy's up, you're like, I can't be the only one not getting the freaking something on the board. Oh no, I'm competitive. There's no way how my name is gonna be on the bottom. I'm gonna have 0. That's not happening. I'm calling everybody. Oh, I don't want to talk to this person. Screw it. That person you don't want to talk to is where your business is, and that's always happened.
Ooh, I love that one.
I don't want to talk to my ex-wife. Hey honey, how's it going? Yeah, I'm in this competition in the office, and we gotta look for business. And the whole thing is basically about, you have 2 people that need to sell a house? Really? Okay, great. What are their names? Now you're on the board. So basically, whatever it is, basically, get yourself out of the comfort zone.
It's good for the ex-wife is always, you want your child support, right? Yeah.
Send me listings.
Probably don't lead with that.
Hey, George, you had one question? Let's make that the
I
last
didn't
one.
have a question, I had something to say. I mean, I really respect you, and it's always fun to listen to you and everything.
Thanks. Oh, you mean
No,
him?
not
You mean him? Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
He's my model.
This is. I want to say something, like that mindset that you have that you're always broke. I'm not saying it's not working for you, but pretty sure that if you have that mindset that you actually have right now in the moment, everything is going to explode your business. Because the universe is going to give you experiences to what you believe.
Say
If you
that.
think you're broke,
Say that last
you're gonna
part.
stay to a
No,
level.
say that last part again.
Yes.
The last part.
The universe, the universe.
The universe.
It's not about Mark.
No, the universe.
Not love.
The universe is gonna, this is universal law, man, like, it's gonna always give you the experience.
What you focus on expands.
You have
Yes,
free will.
what you focus on
Listen
expands.
to this. You have free will, which means whatever you believe is gonna happen.
Yep.
That's why if you stick with your thoughts and you don't have any fears that are gonna discourage you, you're gonna get where you put your mind to.
Trust me.
If you have that mindset, that's gonna only limit you. And I'm saying, you're doing great, you're gonna do even better if you change that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. To piggyback off of that, use your fear basically to get you to the next level.
But that's to the next thing that you, like, don't do things out of fear.
Oh no, I'm not
You know,
saying
that's the
I'm not
thing.
saying do it out of fear,
Because-
but whatever you're afraid of, like, all right, you know what? Let's
You
take
can
this.
face
I
your
think-
fears.
I think
And
he's-
change
Put
it.
it this way, face your fears, but not like, you know what I'm saying? Because you want to resolve them and actually bring back the energy that it was invested into the fear.
I'm in total agreement, but I'm going a different path.
I
but
think
basically,
I think what you're trying to do is not allow yourself to get comfortable.
you can't be comfortable.
Right,
Not-
like
if you're-
on a
if you're
daily
comfortable-
basis.
If
Wait,
you're
that's-
comfortable, you're not progressing. You have to
But George
progress.
is suggesting, and I agree, is using that, even then,
Tweak
using that
it.
word broke,
Yeah.
the broke expense, right? As
Yeah.
opposed to
Or
change that.
say like, all my money is tied up in investments, as
Yeah.
opposed to say,
Yeah.
I'm broke.
Yeah, that's
I-
great.
I agree
That's
that-
great.
I agree that thing, like say, hey, I have so many properties that all my money is going in there, that's why I can't touch this money. But don't say that you're broke, because anything, I agree with what George is saying, anything that you say, your words are spells.
Yeah.
Hold on,
So
can I stop you for 1
everything-
second?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Words matter. The words that you choose matter. So I'm
Yes.
glad you guys are putting me on the spot on this. The words that I choose matter. So I'm not broke. I'm wealthy.
Yes.
I'm handsome as hell.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm skinny.
Yeah, damn straight. Damn straight. Well, next to me, you're definitely skinny. All right, thank you
Look,
so much,
I-
Evans. Thank you
Wait,
so
wait,
much.
hold on, this is a milestone, I can close this.
Oh, okay, there he is.
And I'm not,
There he is.
I am second, sorry.
All right, can we give a round of applause, Evans? Thank you.